Are you somebody that likes to track your health and wellness statistics like your blood pressure, how much exercise you get, what you eat on a daily basis, that kind of thing? Well, if that is you, you might like today's video because we're going to be talking about a health and wellness weekly plan. So stay with me and I'll show you how I do it. Well, hi everyone, this is Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. And today I'd like to say welcome to everyone who might be a new viewer. Welcome back to those who are returning. If this video sounds interesting to you, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and share this with anyone that you think might benefit from the content. Okay? All right, well, today what I want to talk about is I want to talk about a health and wellness weekly plan that you could put into your planner, whether it's a digital planner or a paper planner, it doesn't matter. It's something that I created, so you could create it in either space that you wanted. Mine happens to be in my digital planner in OneNote, and this one was actually a special request from a friend who was having a medical issue and needed to start gathering more information about what was going on a daily basis. So I kind of helped create this layout for them. It was a couple of years ago, and they are doing fine now. Thank you for those who are concerned. And I just wanted to share it with you because I don't think that I've shared this one before. So if that sounds interesting, let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, well, you can see here on my screen, this is kind of an overview of the Health and Wellness Weekly Plan. Now, I know that I've already shared 3 different weekly plans with you in 2026 alone. I will leave a link to those videos up above and down below in the description box. Here is one more for your arsenal of weekly plans so that you can choose the planner that meets your needs specifically, okay? All right, so you see the overview there. Now let's zoom in and let's take a look at what's happening on this page. All right, first of all, you can see that my health and wellness weekly plan is in my little black binder, my little black notebook that has the spiral down the middle. So it's really like 2 pages. So it might be like a 7x9 or something like that if you were using a paper planner, okay? I know that now that I'm using the big landscape background where the spiral's on the side, I'll show you how to adjust this for that kind of view if you would like to. But first of all, let's go over everything that I have in here, okay? Now, just like everything else that I set up, this is a series of tables. So let me walk you through. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 columns, 10 columns going across this particular table. And then I have lots and lots and lots of rows. And let's look at those rows as well, okay? So the rows go down here. We'll go over each one individually. But what I wanted to do here is I wanted to set up a planner for someone who was having a medical issue and they really needed to, track things a little bit tighter, or they simply were someone who was really wanting to lean into, tracking what their health and wellness was looking like, okay? Maybe they have an upcoming doctor's appointment or they've been having an issue and they're not really sure what's going on and they want to look a little bit more specifically at some of the stats for their daily life, okay? All right, so I set it up at the top in the top section for your top 3 goals. Now, you could use this planner for everyday life, or you could use it specifically for your health and wellness goals. That certainly would be up to you. But I left a spot there at the top for you to put 1, 2, 3 goals across the top, okay? Then what I did is I made a column for all the statistics that we want to keep, okay? And then next to that, I have a column for every day of the week. I like to start on a Monday. That's just the way I've always done it, but you can do it however you want. So what I've done here is I've left a space for you to record the statistics for that particular day, okay? So if I were using this myself, I might come in here and I might say, let's see, this is Monday. You could even put the date there if you want. So let's say Monday, February 16th, 2026. I could do that if I wanted to. And then I could just copy that. So Control C to copy, and then go next to Tuesday, Control V to paste, and change that to the 17th. Okay, so you can put your dates in there so you know exactly what you're doing. Okay, and then we start collecting stats. So the first one is for weather. So you could put in there, let's see, at my house, the high today is 39 and the low is going to be 23 according to my watch, and it is sunny. Okay, so I could put that in there. Then next is a place to record your weight. I'm going to record my ideal weight for you guys today, but you would put your real weight in there. So I would like to weigh 187 pounds. I'm a tall woman, big bones. I would like to weigh 187 pounds, okay? Then every morning I take my blood sugar, so I would put in my morning blood sugar. This morning, let's say it happened to be 110. And my blood pressure. Maybe I'm somebody who has to take my blood pressure every day. Let's say it was 127/86. Okay, so you have room to put all of that kind of thing. If you wanted to add other things here, you could. Let's say maybe you felt some palpitations. So I'm going to abbreviate palpitations there, okay? If you're somebody who's checking your heart or something like that, okay? Then for stress level, I've just put a number 1 through 8, 8 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. And what I probably would do here is I probably would come in with a highlighter and I would maybe just highlight, you know, what I thought my stress level was for today. Since I am filming, my stress level is always a little bit higher than normal because I get a little, you know, nervous about making sure that all the equipment and everything is going to work right. So I'm going to put my stress level at a 5, okay? Then for medication, you can put down what medication you might have taken. And what I usually do is I just put down that I've taken my PM medication. I don't list out all of them. I just write it down that I've taken all of the pills that are my PM medication, and maybe I took an Advil, and maybe I just took one of those, okay? So we could do something like that. You can kind of make up your own code for what you'd like, okay? And then if you had a bowel movement, you can either say yes or no, or you can give some details. You know, if you were having, you know, bowel issues, you may have a scale of, you know, something that you're using, okay? Whatever you want to do, there's plenty of place in there for you to write those kinds of things, okay? The next one down here is for sleep, and what I did here is, again, I put those 1 through 8, and I would then also record how many hours of sleep I got. Last night was a good night. I got 8 hours sleep, okay? All right, and then for exercise, I can record what I did here. So I walked today, and I walked, what did I get on my, well, I'll give you what I have right now. So far, I'm at 62.94 for steps. My goal is to get to 8,000, so out of 8,000. But by the end of the day, I'm sure that I will have that 8,000, so I can go back in and change that, okay? My mood today is I am happy and content, right? Not too stressed, not too much bothering me. I feel good because I always enjoy producing these videos for you guys. So I'm usually happy on a day that I am filming, okay? All right, for self-care, what am I going to do to take care of myself today? Well, I did exercise already. I'm actually going to go out and have lunch with a friend today. And so that is kind of my self-care, to treat myself to relaxing and having a good time and going out to lunch, okay? It might be that you give yourself a manicure or a massage. You might meditate. You might take a walk. You might, enjoy a cup of tea and count the birds. You might do any kinds of things. But this is just a place for you to record what you do for yourself, okay? Now, the next one I have here is a pain level and then a location, okay? Again, if you want to use that 1 through 8, you could put that in here. This is simply a series of numbers that I have here. So if I wanted to do the pain level 1 through 8, I could simply copy this and put it up here if I wanted to. And I could say, all right, well, my pain level today is only a 3. And where is that pain level? Well, it happens to be in my back, okay? Something like that. If you don't want to do that and you just want to have, a place where you record that your back is hurting, you could say back, lower, and it is 3 out of 8, something like that, if you want to do that, okay? I know that when I go to the doctor frequently for my back, they will ask me what level my pain is. So that's kind of where that came from, because they want to know that, all right? So the treatment and the response, when my back hurts, I am supposed to ice for 15 minutes and rest. And then the response would be better, okay? So it actually felt better when I did that. Let's make this a little bit smaller font. I make it bigger so that you guys can see it on the screen, but then sometimes it moves things around. There we go. All right, so the treatment would be that I iced for 15 minutes and then that made that feel better. It might be that you're supposed to take medication, or, if your blood sugar is up, you're supposed to take insulin. Whatever your treatment and your response is, that's a good place to record that, okay? Now, this morning for breakfast, I could write down that I had coffee and a scone. And then for lunch, I haven't had lunch yet. I'll fill that in when I get back today. And then dinner, whatever my dinner plans are. Actually, usually when I go out to lunch with someone, I'm so full that I don't eat dinner. So I probably will skip dinner tonight, but that's okay. And then any snacks that I might have, I usually have an orange after walking. So I'm going to list that in there. And then hydration. This is really, again, you're supposed to get those 8 cups of water, right? So I can go in here. If I want to choose blue, I can for that. And so far, I've had 4 of my 8 glasses so far today, okay? All right, so that's pretty cool. A place to record all of those stats and what that might look like, okay? Then down here at the bottom, I have a place to contact, cards, call, or email. And really, if you're doing this as kind of a wellness thing, you're somebody who's having a major issue, you may have nurses that you need to call, you may have therapists that you need to call, you may have doctors that you need to do, you may have test results that you need to, or labs that you need to schedule and all that kind of stuff. That's why I put that to contact place right there, because having somebody who has had major medical things at home, it seems like there's always somebody to contact, okay? All right. And then Monday, appointments or things to do. This could be, again, if you're using this for your general planner, you could put your general things in here. If you're using it for somebody who is having a medical issue right now, this may be where you schedule doctor's appointments, physical therapy appointments, blood work appointments, all of that kind of thing, and you're just kind of tracking the medical issues. Really is up to you how you want to use it. All right, and then down here at the bottom, I have something that I think, really is helpful for your health and wellness, and that's a place for you to write a positive affirmation, something that, is a positive quote that you might want to write in this spot. I'm feeling stronger every day, or together we can get through this, or, whatever it might be. And then I also made a space over here for grateful for, and that's a place for you to record, things that you are grateful for, that you feel good. Maybe you're grateful for the doctors that are caring for you. Maybe you're grateful for, the fact that your medication is working or something like that. So just a place to record that information. Okay? All right. Now let's go to the other side. And so you could continue with Tuesday, Wednesday, et cetera, et cetera. And then what I did over here at the top is I have a big section at the top of each one of these days over here. And I was thinking, well, there might be things that you might need to purchase. Maybe you need more bandages, maybe you need, more medication, maybe you want, special foods or something like that. So I wanted to give you a place for that as well, but you could change this to whatever you wanted, or you could leave them blank, and just write in, a happy thing that happens every day, or who came by to visit, or, what calls you got made, or, whatever it is that you want to do, extra notes and things that you want to write up above. That would be fine, okay? The other thing that I did here is I was playing around with, because sometimes when you have a planner and you have your words on one side, for weather, and then you get to the other side of the page, you forget what that specific section might be. So over here I was playing around with, instead of rewriting the word weather, I thought, well, let's try some icons. Maybe I'll see how those work. So let me zoom in and show you some of the icons that I came up with. And there are some that I'm going to need help with, okay? All right, so the first one that I found is an icon for the weather. And so that's just the sun. That works good. And for the weight, I found a little scale. Again, I'm just going into PowerPoint and looking at the icons that are there. That's where these are coming from. My blood sugar, when I take that every morning, it's a drop of blood on a strip, so I put a drop there. Some people may think that looks like hydration, but I made it dark, not clear like water, to try to help me differentiate. And again, you can use whatever icons you want, or you could rewrite the words here. It doesn't really matter, okay? All right, this one I put in for blood pressure, the beating of the heart. And then I got down to stress, and I could not, for the life of me, think of an icon for stress. So that's my question of the day. What icon or what symbol would you use for stress, okay? The closest I could find was like a heart with like a dagger through it. I don't know. I didn't think that would be really that good to put in my notebook. But anyway, leave it down below. Leave me a comment and let me know, what would you put down as an icon for stress, okay? All right, going on down, the next one here is for medication. And I think that one works pretty well. Now this one, when I first looked at it, when it was bigger, it looked like a toilet, for bowel movement. And I thought, okay, that's pretty good. But now, sometimes when I look at it small on the screen, it looks like a person going, wee, coming up out of the plunger. I don't know. I don't know. It's supposed to be a toilet, and it does look like a toilet, but sometimes to me it looks like a person with their hands up in the air. I know, I'm crazy. The next one down here is for sleeping, your hours of sleeping. And the next one is for exercise, and I think that one's pretty good. My main exercise is walking every day, so that is great for me. If you are somebody who exercises with equipment or weights or something like that, you may want to use a different icon, okay? All right, this next one here was to signify mood, and I thought that was good. And then self-care, I chose this palm with a plant, being in nature, immersing yourself in nature, something like that. That's what I chose for self-care. If you have a better idea for self-care, please leave it down below. And then lightning bolt. What do you think that might be for? Well, the lightning bolt for me was pain, that kind of stabbing pain. I don't know, I guess I could use the heart with the dagger through it here as well, too. But that was for a location of pain and where that might be. And then the next one would be, what treatment and response that I had for that, okay? All right. The next three you see are all plates with knives and forks on the side. That is for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I have an apple down here to represent the snack. And for my hydration, since I use that water drop for the blood sugar at the top, I decided to use a water bottle, which is something that I drink out of all the time. So I put that there for my water bottle. Okay? All right. Let's see. If you go all the way down at the bottom of that page, you see after all of my little icons here on the side, you see that I still have a place for, Thursday's appointments, Friday's appointments, Saturday's appointments, and Sunday's appointments down here across the bottom. And that's great. Again, there's a place for many hours during the day, or, you can simply just put the appointments that that you have specifically for your medical needs. Okay. And then down here at the very, very bottom, again, I wanted to put some things where you could fill in things that might contribute to your health and wellness. So celebrating the wins, what I was thinking about for celebrating the wins here is, maybe you were able to stand on your own today. Maybe you were able to take a couple of sips. Maybe you were able to walk a whole mile today. Maybe you were able to keep something on your stomach without feeling nauseous. All of those things would be good if you were tracking this simply as a medical, health and wellness book. If you were, doing it for your general plan, then you could, expand onto whatever wins that you had in your life. Okay. And then I also put a section here for next week. And the next week section I think is important because, as you're going through your week, things come up and you know that they're going to be scheduled for next week. And this is just a place for you to be able to jot those down so that you don't forget. Okay. Maybe you have another doctor's appointment. Maybe you have, some labs that you need to do, something like that are coming up. Okay. All right. Well, like I said, this is kind of an overview of my health and wellness weekly. I did create an entire medical notebook, which you kind of see here on my screen. I have a medical health and wellness notebook, and I have sections for each of the family members across here. And then I have page templates. I have a section for research that I might be doing on a health or wellness specific topic. And then I have my insurance coverage for things. And then I have quick notes, just, things that get thrown in there because I don't want to forget them. Okay. If you would like to learn more about my medical health and wellness journal, I will link that up above. I did a whole series on that a couple of years ago. There are lots of pages that I've already gone over in here, like medical contacts, doctor's appointments, that kind of thing. So check that out. I'll leave that playlist up above and down in the description box if you would like to see that. Okay? All right. Let me know if you have any thoughts on anything that I may have forgotten on this particular page. I think I covered almost everything that would be applicable to my life or any medical issues that have happened in my family. But I'm curious if there's some major something that I'm forgetting that you guys could help me out with. Okay? All right. Well, speaking about health and wellness, I hope that all of you are doing the best that you can do. I know that it's very cold here and very icy where I am, and I'm just encouraging people that wherever you are, that you take good care of yourself, that you get plenty of rest and you get plenty of good food to eat, and you stay warm or you stay cool depending on where you are. And until next time, here's hoping that you can live a more simplified and organized life through better planning. I use OneNote. Until next time, okay, bye.